So in this lecture, we're going to be looking at setting up your business. Now, there are many aspects that you must cover when you set up your business. So what exactly do I mean by set up? So there are many questions you must ask when setting up your tutoring business, and these are as follows. The first one is you need to work out which subjects you'll tutor. Your aim is to gain a reputation in your respective field. That is literally the most and first important question you must ask is, which subjects am I going to tutor? Are you going to specialize in one and gain a reputation for being the go-to tutor for that subject, or are you going to cover a broad range of different subjects that you have high qualifications in? The second question is, will you tutor one-on-one or tutor a small group? The third one is, will you tutor solely from home or will you drive to students' houses? The next one is, have you set up all the legal requirements? Now see the previous lecture on that. The next one is, what is my marketing plan? Now see section 3 for a full detailed marketing plan on how to advertise your tutoring business. The next question is, have I prepared all notes to give to my students? And the last one is, how will I receive payment, cash or bank transfer or both? Now let's look at each of these questions in thorough detail. Which subjects? Now this is a very important. You may be an expert in various subjects, having attained a very high score in each. However, you should really only concentrate on one or two main subjects that you love the most, as well as having the most experience. This is just from my personal experience that if you cover too many subjects, then it will obviously, students will get confused as to which one you are the best at. So remember, your aim is to gain a reputation in your community as being the go-to person for that subject for tutoring. So if you cover too many subjects, then this will not allow you to specialize and have specific expertise in that subject. So for me, I personally tutor English language for VCE in Australia and Victoria, and I'm in the process of building up my reputation as the go-to person for that for my area. So that's what I highly recommend. Now, one-on-one tutoring or group tutoring. Now this is a very important question to answer. You should aim to have a mixture of both. Now sometimes friends love working together, and so they may suit the group tutoring model. Sometimes people love personal attention, so they may suit the one-on-one model. However, if you only prefer either one, then stick with that. From a financial point of view, it is best to cater to both audiences and modes of learning. The next question is, do you tutor from home? Again, a very important question to answer. You need to work out if you will tutor from home or from your students' homes. I'd personally recommend both, which gives students the options. So if you're going to tutor outside of your house, then you will need to ensure that you have a car and also factor in the costs into your hourly rate. And this includes petrol and so forth. Sometimes students and parents in particular don't want to leave their house, while others, oddly enough, don't like to have strangers in their houses. So this all depends on the distance. If a student lives far away, then it may be best to work out a plan whereby you alternate times when you attend each other's houses, or you could decide to meet halfway in order to save yourself traveling such a long distance. So these questions are really important to ask yourself, as again this will determine the rate you charge as well as the potential market. Now, have you set up all the legal requirements? So this is the most important initial step before you even start looking for students. So see my previous lecture explaining all the details. So what is the marketing plan? So for complete details on this, please see section 3. So you will need to work out how you're going to reach your potential customers. Will you engage in paid advertising or free advertising? I will show you ways on how to get students solely through free advertising in section 3. So if you want to get straight to marketing now, go look at that where I'll explain all my free advertising tips. Prepare all notes. Now, you need to make sure that before you even start tutoring your desired subject, that you have all of your notes, ideas, essays, and so forth in order. This way, when your students need help in a particular area of the curriculum, then you can automatically draw upon your well-organized notes. Now, depending on the subject, I highly recommend you have a systemized way of organizing your notes so that you not only come across as presentable to your student, but also well organized. This will also ensure that the subject doesn't get overwhelmed, that the student doesn't get overwhelmed with new information in the subject. Now, from my personal experience, I have notes on every chapter of the curriculum. I have summarized notes, I have essays, I have documents and so forth, so that when I attend a tutoring lesson with a student and we have to focus on a particular area of the curriculum, I can easily draw upon my notes and not have to get overwhelmed myself and not overwhelm the student. So this is an example here of the notes I was just talking about. This is Unit 4, Area of Study 1. So this is quite a broad unit, but I've divided it into various sections for the subject which I teach, which is English language for Australia. So I've divided up into lexical features, I've divided up into grammatical features, phonological features, and so forth. So I highly recommend you do this for your subject too. That way it not only helps you, but it also definitely helps your student. The last question to ask is, how will I receive payment? Now, you should provide a variety of payment options. So most students, in my experience, prefer cash, but some students prefer bank transfer. You should make sure you set up a business bank account where you will deposit all of your earnings. Now remember that the whole process of this is to keep an organized track of your finances so that come tax time, you can easily complete it as well as minimize your expenses.